Arman lived in a small town, nestled between towering mountains and the ever-changing sea. He seemed like any other boy, flying kites, laughing with friends, and listening to his fisherman father's stories. But inside, Arman carried a secret fear, a shadow that clung to him even on the brightest days. It kept him from joining his friends in the waves, holding him back with invisible chains. He longed to join his father on the boat, to feel the sea's rhythm, but the fear always stopped him. He made excuses, hiding the truth behind sandcastles and seashells. Every time his father invited him to the water, Arman's fear would rise and he'd quietly say, "Maybe next time, Papa." On the outside he smiled, inside he battled a storm no one else could see. Arman hadn't always been afraid. As a small child, he loved the sea until one day, a wave knocked him under, and panic took hold. His father pulled him out, but the fear stayed, growing deeper with time. Soon, even the smell of salt or the sight of his father's boat triggered dread. The fear spread, making him anxious about failing, being embarrassed, or trying anything new. That single moment underwater became a shadow, stretching into every corner of his life. He watched others play and explore, but he stayed behind, trapped by memories and what-ifs. The world felt smaller, defined by the boundaries of his fear. Arman longed to step into the light, but the shadow always seemed to win. Fear became Arman's storyteller, always spinning tales of failure. When the school talent show was announced, he imagined himself forgetting the words, the crowd laughing. He loved to sing, but fear convinced him to stay silent. The same happened with cricket and the science fair. Fear showed him only embarrassment and defeat. Each time he said no, his world shrank a little more. He built walls to keep out pain, but they also kept out joy. Arman watched life from behind those walls, believing fear's stories were the only truth. He was safe, but he was also alone. One evening Arman's father sat beside him, sensing the sadness in his son. "Fear is a storyteller," his father said gently. "It only tells you what might go wrong, never what could go right." Arman realized he'd never imagined success, only disaster. That night he let himself picture singing on stage, feeling proud instead of ashamed. For the first time he decided to challenge the fear. He signed up for the talent show, terrified but determined. The fear was still there, but a new voice, his own, began to speak up. He wondered, what if I succeed? It was a small note of courage, but it changed everything. Arman was ready to write a new story. On talent show day, Arman's fear was overwhelming. Backstage he remembered his father's words and imagined a different ending. He walked onto the stage, found his father's face in the crowd, and sang. The applause was real, warm and encouraging. That moment sparked a ripple of bravery. He joined the cricket team facing mistakes and finding joy in the game. Next he returned to the water, starting with his feet in the foam, then wading in with his father. Each small victory chipped away at the fear. The sea became less of an enemy, more of a partner. Arman learned to float, to trust, and to breathe. With every step his confidence grew. The world began to open up. When a national science competition was announced, fear returned, whispering doubts. But Arman now knew fear's tricks. He wrote a new story. One where he built a desalination project and explained it with pride. He worked hard, fueled by hope instead of dread. His father watched, quietly proud. As a real storm gathered outside, Arman's father went to secure the boat. Suddenly the storm broke, and Arman saw his father swept into the raging sea. The old fear screamed at him to stay inside, but Arman remembered his courage and ran into the storm. This time, he chose to act. Rain lashed, wind howled, and Arman saw his father struggling in the waves. Fear's voice was loud, but courage was louder. Arman threw a rope, missed, then tried again. His father caught it, and Arman pulled with all his strength, saving him. In the quiet after the storm, Arman realized fear hadn't disappeared, but it no longer controlled him. He had faced his deepest terror, not for applause, but for love. Courage, he learned, isn't the absence of fear, but acting despite it. Arman's journey, from a boy trapped by shadows to one who could face a storm, was complete. Fear is not the enemy, but the test. True freedom lies beyond it, on the horizon we reach by choosing to act. Arman's story is for anyone who's ever been afraid. The horizon of freedom is waiting, just beyond the next brave step.